of B. The pointer always point to the address, because we are having many values, many variables which are using in our C, or in a easier manner I want to tell you that if you want to use these things in the computer manner, then every program is to be saved in a particular address, and that address is a particular memory location of the system. Either it can be a primary or it can be a secondary, or we can use buffer, but it has to be assigned with a particular address. Here the total game or the total exchange or the total swapping is done between that particular addresses, not by the particular values. We have to use that addresses, we have to swap that addresses, so the proper swapping can be done. We are having this important feature in our C language function part. Then void exch int pointer of A, int pointer of B, that the two values are the pointer integer values. Then in that function, in that particular definitions, int temp, the temporary variables we are using, that is of integer type. Then int temp, we are using temp equals to pointer of A, pointer of A equals to pointer of B. Then the value of A is assigned to B, and the value of B is assigned to A, not the values. Here we are using addresses, we are using the addresses, the address will be swapped. Then temp equals to pointer of A, then the pointer of A equals to pointer of B, and the pointer of B equals to temp. Then the value is swapped here, okay, by using the address, not by using only the values. Then printf, printing inside exch functions. Then printf A equals to modulus of D, B equals to modulus D, then slash n for the next line printing. Then we are printing the pointer values, that is pointer of A and pointer of B. Then in the main function, what happens in the main function? Same as in the earlier values program. Then int x and y are the two variables, and clear screen, printf, enter the value of x and y, scanf modulus d, address of x and address of y. Now a very important point comes, exch, we are calling that particular functions, but we are giving a particular values, that is address of x and address of y. In spite of passing the whole values, we are passing the addresses, we are swapping the addresses so to swap the values, but we are not directly passing the values, we are passing a particular addresses, we are defining a location, and that location is swapped in a particular manner. Then address of x and address of y, then passing the address values. By passing the address values, the address value will be swapped. Then after passing that particular values, what we are defining here, printf, printing from the main function. And similarly in the last program we had sent the integer values of x and y was not changed, but you will see the output here. The output here becomes slightly different from the last program. What happens here? We have changed the particular location, we are not changing the values, but we are changing a particular locations. Then enter the value of x and y, we are entering 3, 5, printing from inside the functions, swapping function will done. What happens? 3 becomes, the value of A was 3 and now it becomes 5, and the value of B was 5, now it becomes 3, but we are changing a particular functions, that particular address. Then what happens when we are printing from the main functions, the value of x equals to 5, y equals to 3. In the earlier program what happens? The value of x equals to 3 and the y equals to 5. Then it was no proper exchange was done. By passing a particular address, we can exchange the address values, nor by only changing the values, we are changing here the address value. So it is a very important features. We can pass the reference, we can call the reference, and we can also call the value. So this is a important features which is included in the function part. Next point, the last that is recursion. what is a recursion? Recursion is a very important feature. It is extremely important, and when we talk about the examination concerns, this topic will always comes in exams. So what is a recursion? Recursion means recursion. Means repeating a particular value. Cursion means assigning a loop. Okay, then function call itself. In a short term, in a short manner, we can say that a function is calling itself. How a function call itself? We have defined a particular functions. We had also told, or we can also check that the function can be defined once and can be used it many times. So if you want to use a functions more than one time, you have to call that particular functions, and we are calling that particular functions, that is called as recursion. Recursion means repeating or assigning a particular value to the by using a function into the program. Then we can use a value more than once at a particular function by calling it again and again. Then in a short term, we can say that function calling itself. I want to give you an example. We are having an example. If you want to find out a factorial, okay, then factorial of a given number, in this type of program, the function has to call recursively again and again. Why? Because we can say that the factorial of 5. Factorial of 5. What is the factorial of 5? 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 and into 1. Then it is a particular format, but I want to write in another way. We can write that factorial of 5 equals to factorial 5 into factorial of 4. What is the factorial of 4? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, then I can also write factorial of 4 equals to 4 into factorial of 3. So we can assign a particular loop and we can call that factorial function or factorial method again and again into a particular program. That means our factorial program is calling a factorial program. For example, we are I mentioned in the slide that notice that the factorial 5 equals to 5 into factorial 4. What is factorial 4? Is a factorial function. What is factorial 5? Is a factorial function. That factorial function is calling its own function again and again. Values may be different. Values can be different in the particular program as the loop goes on, but it is calling that particular function or the methods again and again. Then if we want to compute, we can compute as well as factorial 4, factorial 2, factorial 3 and so on. Okay, then this is a particular program which we used in recursion. Hash include studio.h, hash include conio.h. We are using long integer, that is factorial fact int n, then the main int m. I am using another variable, that is m. I am using another long integer, that is ans. Ans defines the answer of that particular factorial. Then clear screen. Clear screen is it is used to clear that particular console screen. Then printf given give the numbers. We are giving a particular number. Then scanf modulus d and address of m. We are assigning the values by using m. What the integer values we are giving it to is, suppose we are giving 5, then the factorial of 5 is equals to 120. It will give the particular factorial. Then ans equals to fact m, and it is pass the value of m, that is equals to 5, and the call will generate. Then the call of program will generate and it will print long integer, that is the definition of function. Then int if n equals to 1, what a condition is to be checked. If the condition n equals to 1, we are defining that the formal parameters, that is int equals to int n. Then the value of n to be assigned to n, and the value on the operation is done on particular n values. Then it is defining that if n equals to 1, then the condition to terminate the recursion, return 1. If the value of n equals to 1, then the factorial of 1 is equals to obviously 1. Then it will not execute the program, it will return that answer is 1, else it is returning n into fact of n minus 1. What was the value of m? We are defining the value of m equals to 5, and m is assigned to n, and the n value is equals to 5. So when we print that particular factorial function of 5, it will print 5 into factorial 4, and the loop will again goes and it will print the again values of 4. 4 is factorial 4 can be written as 4 into factorial of 3, and same time this will repeat continue unless and until I will find the value 1. When the value of n equals to 1, we are seeing in this program, then the value of 1, n equals to 1, then what happens? The condition to terminate recursion. It is a condition which is defined to terminate a recursion, because what happens when we are defining a particular recursion? Recursion means a function is calling itself. We have to define a particular condition to terminate it, because if we are not defining any particular condition to terminate it, it will go into a infinite loop and it will print the garbage values, and these garbage values will provide or will create some of errors in the program, so that when you run this program you will not get an appropriate answer. You can think that the recursion function is not giving the proper answer, but this is not the particular or not the systematic way to do the programming. When we are doing our recursion program, we have to assign a particular definition or the particular method or the particular statement, so that when these statements are executes, then the function recursion can be terminated. So in this program, what happens here, the if n equals to 1, there is a condition to terminate the function, else it will return n into fact n minus 1. What happened? N into fact n minus 1. Suppose 5 is given, then it will return 5 into fact n minus 1. Then fact is a function, then it will go to that particular function here, and on going to a particular function, what happens? Method the n value will be changed, and now m is becomes 4, and then again assigning that to a particular program, it will check that the integer fact value is not 5, now it becomes 4, and it will check for the 4 value, then return 4 into fact n minus 1. Then by decreasing again one value, now the n becomes fact n minus 1 means 4 minus 1 3, that means 5 into 4 into factorial of 3. Then we have to reassign and recheck the value of factorial 3. Then we can check the value of factorial 3 by assigning it to the m, and when we are assigning this ans is equal to fact m, the value of m becomes 3, and it will again go to the particular definition of the program, and in that particular definitions we can print, we can assign, and we can check those values, and so that when the factorial values is assigned in that particular section, and it will check factorial of 3, factorial of 2, until and unless it assigns a particular conditions that n equals to 1, that is n equals to 1. So we have to do that program up to 5 4 3 2 1. So in this program, what we had done, we have given the number that is 5, and we have print the factorial of 5 is 120. There is some error that factorial of 120 using function equals to 120. It should not be like that. The output will be factorial of 5 using function equals to 120. That means 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So in this sections of functions, I had described about the functions, how functions are important, what are the functions declarations, function definition, functions prototypes, including the sections we had discussed about the functions scope, about the recursion of functions, and this sections told us about the definitions, including the functions areas. So we can create many programs. Every programs in the C language can contains the functions, and that functions, by using that particular functions, we can reduces the complexity, we can reduces the size, and we can produce our program dynamically. So the function is an important part, and we have to see that functions very deeply, and by using that particular functions we can eliminate the complexity and we can use the better use of C program. Thank you, viewers. This is all from my side from the function area. Thank you.